Starting a new car brand is, well, extremely difficult, and starting one that has a real true story and identity behind it is even more difficult. Lucid has been able to do just that, starting off strong with the absolutely incredible Air sedan, but continuing that legacy is a very challenging task to do. Thus, we have the Lucid Gravity. This is the 2026 Lucid Gravity Grand Touring, and I think that they have mastered that storyline with this all-new electric SUV. This vehicle truly defies what you may think in A, an electric vehicle, and B, on a vehicle in itself. It's a true shape-shifting, do-it-all vehicle, and the Gravity, I've been waiting for it for quite some long time. It takes the brand and the whole technology that the brand has been working on to a true next level, and it brings genuine excitement both in its own driving experience, in its amazing capability, and for what's to come. Nonetheless, let's go hop in. I'm going to take you all on a full in-depth tour, review, and overall discussion about Lucid as a brand and the Gravity as we have it here today and that we've been testing over the course of this week. Let's go dive in. So joining me under the hood, or I would say front trunk and or event seating space of the Lucid Gravity, we got to talk about what is powering this absolutely incredible vehicle. Now, a lot of electric cars are just so, electric vehicles. They got a battery, they have motors, they move around, but this is a true ground up electric vehicle. And yes, there's a lot of true ground up electric vehicles, but these brands do not do what Lucid does. They optimize their entire chassis around this electric identity and allowing for things like this incredible amount of front space up front here in the back and an incredible packaging space in the interior in a vehicle that is under 200 inches long. It has space of something you would expect out of a much larger vehicle even than this. And all of this is still packing an insane amount of performance. With Lucid's dedicated platform and architecture and all of their unique components on this vehicle that they've designed in-house, we're getting 828 horsepower out of this Gravity Grand Touring, 909 pound-feet of torque through a dual motor all-wheel drive system. Now this is all powered by around a 900 plus volt electrical architecture from around 123 kilowatt hour battery pack. These numbers are all pretty crazy, but it all allows for up to 450 miles of range, and that's on the US EPA cycle, which is pretty much one of the most accurate ones out of all of the cycles throughout the globe. But all in all, this is a vehicle that weighs around 6,000 pounds. It could also tow around 6,000 pounds. But behind the wheel, you would think you're in a much smaller, much sportier, much more direct vehicle, and that's just the Lucid way. Joining me at the back of the Lucid Gravity, let's talk about charging performance. You're going to find your charge port door on your Gravity on the driver's side and located in the back, which I think is a good position for a lot of different chargers. Pretty easy to use, and there's not too much actual space behind it that you have to back up and be cautious of that. Now, this is actually a physical charging door. It's not fully automated. It does open after you press it, but it reveals a NACS port, which is standard on the Lucid Gravity, aka the Tesla supercharger port as well. That is a wonderful thing to see on this vehicle for 2026. And since we have this 900 volt electric vehicle architecture, well, over 900 volts, if you find a compatible charger, you can actually charge up to around 400 kilowatt speeds, which is currently pretty much one of the highest you can get in the United States right now. There are a few vehicles that are coming that can get pretty close to that, which is really cool to see. But if you cannot find a 400 kilowatt capable charger or a charger that can handle this vehicle's voltage architecture, the vehicle will boost up its voltage and stuff to get it up to around 220, 250-ish kilowatts on those lower voltage, lower powered chargers as well. So it is still capable of charging at high-ish speeds across the spectrum of DC fast charging performance. If you're charging at home, you have the capability of charging up to around 19.2 kilowatts on level 2 AC charging speeds, which is pretty high. I really only have seen those numbers as an option on General Motors electric vehicles, so that's great to see here as standard on this Lucid Gravity Grand Touring. Now we get to talk about one of my favorite parts of the Lucid Gravity, and that would be its design. Some, yes, say they aren't the biggest fan of its shape, but once you get to live with it in person and experience it, you'll kind of learn to appreciate it really quick. Like I said, it's under 200 inches long. Do you know what's over 200 inches long? The Dodge Charger Coupe that we just tested. The coupe, the two-door, and the overall shape of the Lucid Gravity is all meant for efficiency, but also a nice, cool, stylistic design language. It gets around a 0.24 drag coefficient, like I mentioned, and we have all those signature Lucid design touches, the really unique sculpted hood, and that all blends right into the bold Lucid badge up front, as well as the signature Lucid light bar, those vertical lights down here, as well as our hidden, very high-powered LED lights as well down here, and that very unique, smooth front fascia we've come to learn and love over at the Lucid Air. Now you're going to notice up front here, we actually have some unique sensors over in the front of the Gravity, and that's because this one is equipped with the Dream Drive 2.0 package. Now this is an upgraded package. It costs a few $1,000s, but it is going to future-proof your Lucid Gravity for full hands-free driving down the road when it comes available, and unlocks some pretty cool features that we'll get to when we hop into the interior. Joining me on the wheel entire front of the Lucid Gravity, this is also a pretty wild space as well. You have quite a few options of tire and wheel combinations you can go on with the Gravity. If you get the smallest wheel option, that's going to be your best range wheel. You're going to get up to that 450 miles. I believe the wheel and tire combo with the winter tires that this one came equipped with, range is probably around 350, 320, 330 miles in that range area here. But we do have these pretty cool wheels. These are the Aero style wheel options, and the tire setup here is also pretty wild. Up front here we have a 265/50 R20s. Out back we actually have 21-inch wheels with a little bit of a larger tire size as well. So we have a staggered tire setup on this Gravity. Braking performance as well is impressive, but of course this is an electric vehicle and you have regenerative braking. You can adjust it as well in the cabin of the Gravity, or you can turn it off and have a nice coasting experience. And hiding behind all this, like I mentioned, is this optional 3-chamber dynamic adaptive air suspension system, which really is a truly wild experience on the road and its capabilities, as well as its ability to raise really high and low. And this one with this dynamic handling package also is getting us rear wheel steering for a little bit more of a maneuverability in low speed parking situations, but also for that added agility when you are making a lane change, or if you're crazy enough, taking this on a track and having a fun day, because I honestly believe that it could actually be quite fun on the track. Again, it handles that good. Even at the rear of Lucid Gravity, it just looks so amazing and futuristic that you'll never mistake it for anything else on the road. Some of these cool aero design pieces are all really located up here with this huge integrated rear spoiler. You could just see how deep it goes. And of course, hiding under here is a rear windshield wiper, which is great. I love these nice, huge side pillars as well, as we just mentioned. Really cool, unique, distinctive design piece. And again, this lowest ride height, you can just see how low it really is next to me. I'm 6 feet tall, and it feels like a low, sporty, aggressive, almost like wagon in that aspect. Nice, gigantic rear light bar, and this is a 3D sculpted light bar that does an amazing animation when you lock or unlock the vehicle. We have Lucid integrated into here as well, and in the lower portion, it's a very clean, scalloped space. I do recall actually from almost 2 years ago when we saw Gravity in person for the first time with the Lucid design team, they talked about these really unique scalloped pieces on the side portion of our rear tailgate over here, which actually aid in aerodynamics to help make the side profile and this kind of rear curving profile of the rear of the Gravity a little bit more aerodynamic. And having a quick peek underneath the Gravity, you're going to find a huge rear integrated diffuser that runs almost to the middle of the vehicle. And of course, this entire underbody is completely flat for aerodynamics. Popping open our trunk on the Lucid Gravity, of course we have a button. We can open it from the key fob as well. I like the little chimes it does. And in just a typical Lucid fashion here, we have this really cool scalloped rear trunk space that has these integrated rear brake lights, since all the actual brake lights are attached to this opening piece over here. Hopping under here, you're going to note we actually have the third row package, and it's not a standard option. It does come at a few extra $1,000 actually, but it's an incredibly versatile and dynamic third row, and I'll get to that in just a second. Now, behind this third row, we actually have around 21 cubic feet of cargo space, perfect for 2 carry-ons and probably like 4 more, honestly, you could fit under there. But if this isn't enough space behind the third row for you, all you have to do is open up this floor right here, and Lucid has devised this clever system where this actually stays up for you with these 2 little latches. You get another 6 cubic feet of cargo space under the floor over here. So I could like go all the way down here. I have like boxes and things of Lucid accessories in here, which is a crazy amount of space. And they're so clever to include these little magnetic side pieces over here, which open up with these little covers for even more cargo space. I could stick like half my arm down there as well, which is really impressive. And that's on both sides of this rear area over here. On the side, we're gonna get a 12-volt socket as well as 2 buttons to fold down our second row seats. But this is where things get a little crazy. You can put this little cover down, for example, and once you fold down the third row seats, you're gonna get around 56-ish cubic feet of cargo space. Fold down your second row seats, you're gonna get over 111 cubic feet of cargo space. And combine that with our front trunk, we now have around 120 cubic feet of cargo space in this Lucid Gravity. That's absolutely nuts. And in a vehicle that's under 200 inches long, you're not going to find that often in this market at all, which is pretty impressive. And all the fit and finish back here is really nice. We have a huge opening. And of course, since this car can get so low, loading things such as this suitcase in and out is a really easy task to do. And of course, we have this really nice metal rear scuff plate back here as well. And now I gotta show you how to fold these seats back, because it's not what you're thinking. Now I have removed everything out of the trunk, including that little cargo cover we have for our lower front trunk area here, to show you how these seats actually function. And it's a 2-step process when you do option this package. You pull our first little lever here, which will fold the seat flat down. Then you pull this little latch here, and the seat will then stow right into the floor section over there as well. This also happens, of course, for this other third row seat, and that's when you unlock that really huge cargo space behind your second row of seats. And fold those down, we have a button over here, and if the front passenger seat is a little bit out of the way, it will actually confirm a little prompt on the infotainment screen to confirm you want to move that up if someone's sitting up there, and then you're able to fold those 2 seats down really easily as well to unlock such a huge amount of cargo space. Okay guys, we're gonna go take a look at now the interior of this Lucid Gravity, and opening up this door, you're gonna notice a few things. We also have flush door handles, which is really nice. But what's also pretty cool is all 4 doors on the Gravity are actually frameless. So when I unlock the door, the window does do a little tilt down just for a second to allow it to open and release from the seal. And the other great part is opening the door, you have pretty much a 90-degree opening to get in and out of this vehicle with this door fully open, which is amazing for loading kids in, for example, or even getting into this third row, which I'm about to demonstrate right now. Okay, so to get into this third row, we don't have a second row passenger, though we do have a button right here. So I'm gonna press this button and the seats will automatically fold forward and start moving forward electrically, which is really cool. So you can see it's actually a pretty quick process. All of this part is actually covered over here, unlike when you're folding down the seats. For the full cargo access, that's where it gets a little funky. Now coming in here, you can see we don't have any sort of grab handle or anything, but you don't need it in the Gravity because the opening in the door is just so wide. So let's hop inside. Pretty easy to do. And wow, this is a huge third row. So for full context, I'm gonna close our door and I'm gonna press the button on the side of the Gravity so the seats now will move back. It's a little bit of a loud motor. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but while we're back here, I'll pull this back right here. You can see how huge this third row seat is. Holy cow. This might be one of the biggest third row seats I think I have ever sat in in a vehicle. And we have a lot of great amenities back here. We have our own LED light up here, which is touch activated. We also are getting our own nice little vents on the side, as well as a huge storage cubby over here with a cup holder, as well as a little USB-C port and a storage tray right here, which I think is really cool and nifty. And we have a nice big piece of glass to look out of. Legroom wise, as you can see, it's nuts. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. And these seats can move back more. And you can see up front, they actually have lots of legroom, so they're not being squished up over there. And the seats themselves are the same full leather seats that we have in the front of the cabin as well. We have these really nice, cool looking seats, nice sculpture to them. Same stitching in the centers as well, which is really great. And they're super comfortable and sculpted. Now this is a 2-passenger third row, not a third passenger. So you don't have 3 people back here, but otherwise it's huge. And this side also gets all those same great amenities. And another great thing is with headroom is I have 0 issues. The only thing my head is hitting is this headrest back here. And you can see how big this panoramic glass roof is. It goes all the way to the back of the vehicle behind my head in the third row. And if I turn around here, you can see it's a full uninterrupted piece of glass all the way up to the where the driver and passenger on the front are sitting there. So really impressive amount of space back here. And again, headroom is really impressive. I have no issues. I'm 6 foot tall and I have another inch of headroom in the third row. It's that spacious. You can just see how much room I actually have back here. So yes, you can genuinely fit full-size adults in the third row of the Lucid Gravity with zero complaints or issues, and you don't feel cramped or tight back here. Now, getting out of the third row is pretty much the same process as getting in. We just press this little button right on the side over here. See, the seat will move itself forward and begin its process of electrically moving up. Again, a little bit of a loud situation here, but getting out of the vehicle if you're stuck in the third row also, it's pretty easy. You can just pull this latch and you have this massive door opening to get in and out pretty easily as well. So we'll hop out now. I actually like how easy it is to get in and out of the Gravity, and we will pop the seat back here, push this back so it folds back here, and we'll go take a tour of this second row seat section now. And before we hop inside, check out the gorgeous door panels that Lucid does in their interiors. We have gorgeous materials, leather all around. Everything's very solid to the touch. Nice metal accents here. We also have this really cool Gravity labeled speaker on here as well, which is really nice. And we have these nice textile materials on the lower section of the door. Even this is a nicer, harder, more soft touch plastic. It's not cheap feeling. And we have this nice open pore wood trim over here, as well as an illuminated little button for our windows as well, and a power sunshade that we'll check out in a second. Let's go hop inside. Again, stepping inside is really simple in the Gravity due to its giant door opening space. We have soft closed doors on this particular one as well. Hear them pull into the vehicle, and check out how much space we have now in this second row. So these seats are actually power operated. So I have a little lever down here, so I could actually move them back even more if there's no one in the third row. So now I can increase my leg space. You can see how far back that just went. And this is a pretty nice spacious area. And unlike the Air, I actually don't have my feet being like shoved up in the air because the battery pack and how low the seats are. We have a higher seating position in this vehicle here. We also are getting our own air vent over here, which is a great touch. Grab handle, as well as a nice LED light and some speakers as well, you can see in here. And of course, like I mentioned, we have a sunshade in here, so I can pull this up and our sunshade will go up and down. It's very quick actually, and is quite effective. That's a really nice touch in this vehicle. I like how it tucks away in this little cubby hole over there. And you're not going to find storage on the back of these gorgeous looking seats. These seats have this really cool like micro suede pattern to the back of them, and you can see the leather. And I love the little Lucid California bears they put on their vehicles here. We also have a USB-C port in the center of the seat, but these have the optional tray tables back here. So if I press this little button, our tray table will come up. And right here, I have this nice tray table, and it's huge. I really appreciate this, actually. It's quite useful. There's like a little dock in here for your phone or something. You can put your laptop on here, plug it in, and charge. This is actually a quite useful feature. And you also have this on the rear of the passenger seat as well. We have a nice multi-function center display over here, which is really great. So this is all for your climate controls for the second row. We can turn on our outboard heated seats, for example, adjust our climate settings as well, temperature adjustment, fan direction, and we have these nice physical controls back here for our actual air vents. But otherwise, I think the screen could be a little bit more feature rich maybe down the road, or with some software updates. I feel like they can add some more stuff here. This is a really high resolution, nice crystal clear display, and I like how it's wrapped in the metal and this really cool fabric design pattern over there. And we do have really comfortable seats in the second row of the Gravity as well. Really nice piping in the headrests, nice stitching. This leather, it's very nice and premium feeling. And you have true 3 seats in this vehicle. They are huge in here, and we have a nice center armrest, which I can pull down. It's really tight actually. And you see we have 2 nice big cup holders in here, a little storage cubby, and it's really big, soft and squishy, so you can rest your arms in this nice and easy and have no issues there. That feels really great to the touch. And like I mentioned, you truly can sit in this second row area over here. You have massive amounts of room for both outboard passengers in the second row. So this is a very usable vehicle. It's very, very big in the interior, and I really appreciate the amount of space that this car is giving you. And of course, you still have this amazing access to the giant panoramic glass roof, and you get a little bit of a closer peek to what the front driver and passenger get in their glass canopy cockpit up here with the LED lights in it and the crazy front cabin, which we're gonna go take a look at right now. Okay guys, now we're gonna go hop on the front end of the Gravity, though I do want to point out our new Gravity key fob that we actually are getting for this vehicle. So it is different than the Air's key fob. It's more of an actual key fob this time around. We have a little California bear on here, and you can see we have a few buttons on the key itself. We have a lock, unlock, front and rear trunk opening. You know, I would say overall, Lucid has sort of fixed some of their key issues compared to the Air, but it's still been a little bit of a fussy mess sometimes this week. I've pressed this like a few times to lock it and it wouldn't lock. The auto unlock walking to and from the vehicle didn't work too well this week as well, but we also have a key card on this particular one, so you can also use that. But I still would like to see this improve, Lucid. I know they're constantly working on that with software updates. So just like in the rear seats of the Gravity, a massive door opening in this vehicle. All the openings of the vehicle are huge, and I like this little Easter egg right here of this little California bear in the pillar section. That's really cool. You'll find that throughout the interior. And again, these door panels, just as the rear, are super, super nice, very high quality, very solid. You can see all of our power adjustments for these amazing front seats. These are super comfortable, super adjustable, and have a lot of great features we'll get to in just a second. And you can see our glass canopy up here, and have a listen to how quiet it gets when we get into this cabin and I close up the door, because the sound insulation in here is really, really impressive. Again, we do have soft closed doors. You can hear that soft close, and all of the sounds of the outside just wash away. Gravity. This is a huge, huge upgrade over Lucid Air for a host of reasons. It may look a little funky to you. It's leather wrapped in this particular case here. We have this 12 o'clock marker on the bottom of the wheel, which is interesting. We also are having a infrared sensor over here for driver attention awareness and future hands-free driving. We have our windshield wiper stalk and turn signal stalk here, as well as our drive selectors over there, which is great. So this right one actually does control this top display over here, so we can swipe down and we can access all these different side panels here. I'm sure this is going to have more functionality in the future. Up and down, we have volume control, so you can up and down your volume control. Left and right is a track adjustment there. But we also have a favorite button here, which we can do whatever we want. And there's 3 of those in the vehicle. So we have 1, 2, 3 favorite buttons here, so you can customize those to be a whole bunch of things. You do adjust it via the infotainment display over here, so you press that button and you can use these buttons to push it up, down, in or out like that. It's actually quite simple. Same thing with our mirror controls, up, down, in or out with this little button over here. And the reason the steering wheel is like this is because of this massive curved OLED display, and it's very, very curved. It's one of the more beautiful displays, I would say, in the industry right now. It's really quite nice, and it's super thin. Just check out how thin this overall display is throughout the whole panel here. And they've redesigned these side kind of quick access panels as well, which I think are really great. So we have always these buttons will be over here, so we can access our lock and unlock for our doors here. Quick access controls for, de-icy, defog. We have a fog lights in this one as well. And what I really like is that, let's say if I turn on my windshield wiper just to have a quick wipe, it will instantly bring up my wiper controls here, so I could set my speed here. I can have it on auto. There's 3 levels of auto, or I can just turn them purely off, which is great. And this side left panel over here also has been changed. So not only now can we see our dynamic range as well as our battery percentage up here at all times, we can swipe through this to see our tire pressures or our trip from trip A to trip B. And of course, we can make it a Zen panel, which is just completely blank. Now this centerpiece over here is your main driver zone. You can actually get an optional heads-up display, which I'm surprised this one at over 120 grand does not have, but there's another package you can actually get that will give you a heads-up display, which is new to Lucid's because Air did not have that. But since the screen is so big and it's really not obstructed by the steering wheel anymore, you have so much just real estate here that I'm sure more stuff will be coming down the road. But Lucid likes to keep this area clean. So on Lucid Air, the screens kind of talked to each other a little bit. And of course, the slower screen would swipe up and go up, and you have a whole hidden storage area underneath it. This is totally different software on this infotainment system here. So this is your pilot panel over here. It's another OLED display. And we have our main screen up here. So this main screen is for, you have navigation. This is our home page right here, for example, navigation, Bluetooth audio, as well as your phone. Apple CarPlay is coming in an update. It actually was revealed, I think, 3 days ago. We didn't get it on this particular test model. Unfortunately, the software update did not come in. Navigation built in is pretty good. It's pretty quick and crisp. Destinations are pretty nice and feature rich. It shows you your range as well, which is really nice. The music's a little bit of a mess. The Bluetooth audio hasn't worked super well for me with my iPhone this week, though you can sign into Tidal or Spotify or iHeartRadio. Swipe down, you're going to reveal this kind of quick access panel over here. And this is some really, really cool stuff in here. So we have really nice graphics for quick access to our trip information, for example. I can swipe down and we have quick access to battery precondition if we're going to go be charging. We can also do this Lucid Vibes. So this is basically your ambient lighting control in the vehicle as well. And that is really cool because you can adjust your brightness right here, which is really great. You can turn it on or off. And I like how they named all of the different colors as a different vibe. And it not only changes the ambient lighting in the vehicle, but it also changes the entire kind of theme of this entire gauge cluster. And everything here is really super quick and easy to use, like I mentioned. I like how we have these really nice graphics over here, so I can lock and unlock the doors really easily on here if I want to. I can also adjust our ride height, and I love the graphics that this display has. We have some regenerative braking modes, and again, the graphics in this car are just so cool. And like I mentioned here, we have some great physical buttons. So not only do we have those really nice customizable buttons, but we also are getting some great physical buttons for our climate control system here, as well as a nice volume scroll knob that has a great tactile sound to it. Listen to that. I really like that a lot. But I actually don't mind the climate controls in the screen over here. It's really easy to use. It's very simple, and it's very close to the steering wheel and your hand as a driver. So you can adjust way more stuff in this seat area over here. So we can put only just the bottom on for heating, or just the top portion of the seat. You can adjust your side bolsters. You can adjust your thigh support as well. And of course, this one has the massage setting, so I can turn on our massage right here. And this is a real massage. Lucid does one of my favorite massages in the industry. We have a whole different set of programs in here as well. Great charging panel. Of course, Lucid's gonna have great charging stuff. They have a great high-powered charging system on the vehicle. I love the display in here. You can set your charge target over here. Really nice, crystal clear to see. You can set your preconditioning here as well. Otherwise, you can go to your range screen here. So this is essentially going to give you a map of where you could actually travel based on your current range, and it will give you a whole bunch of charging spots in this entire area here. And what's really cool is you can actually access your navigation screen from both pages over here. So I could actually have my navigation up here, and if I don't want to reach up here to input a destination, I could just do it down here. Typing is a lot easier over here, which is really great. So I like that a lot. And you have a quick access panel for charging information here, which is great. You have stuff that's built into the Lucid network, and then we have our sanctuary modes and our well-being settings here. So this is a crazy experience that you can get in the Gravity. And it's really, I don't think it's going to be used too much by a lot of people, but you do have it. So Lucid Spaces, for example, I could tap this one, and I'm going to play the video and check out what happens to the entire displays here. It changes the ambient light color above us, around us. I'm getting massaged right now. It's a whole experience.
Just search through your inner space to see what you don't need anymore in your life.
This one, we do get the full 360 camera system on the Gravity. Really great cameras, just like as we saw in Air. These are just fantastic, super crystal clear cameras all around us. We have these transparent views here. Same thing with the rear. We can do a trailer hitch view, a wide angle view as well, which is really great. And down here in this lower panel, we have this great dynamic 3D view, so we can just go right around the vehicle. This is really, really great. And this one has some cool stuff. So you can do a transparent mode as well. So you can kind of make it look like a see-through Gravity, which is pretty cool. And we also are getting parking assistance. We can unpark or park, which is really great. And as I mentioned, we can pop open our glove box we have over here, which is leather wrapped. I love that. And it's a nice, massive felt lined space. And I mean, truly colossal amount of storage in that glove box. Really impressive, Lucid. And the amount of storage in this vehicle is also really crazy. So we have this really, really nice kind of textile material around the center console, open pore wood, metal trim, and then check out this. This is a frosted glass center console cover over here. No one is doing things like this in the automotive industry right now. It's so cool. It has gravity in it, and you can push it forward and it reveals this absolutely colossal center console space over here. So we have two cup holders over here with nice squishy, actually, finally, little areas for our cup holder, so it's not going to like grab your cup too hard. We do have an ambient lighting up here, as you can see right now, which is really nice, and a little storage piece over here. move my sunglasses out of the way, here we're going to find a wireless charging mat over here, as well as two little, it looks like phone holders there, which is great. But check out this. You can actually move this whole thing forward if you really wanted, and you can have so much more storage down here, which is so cool. So we have this huge piece down here, and I can literally stick my arm so far down over there. It goes like probably about back to here underneath there, so you can just put stuff and store it underneath there, and it blends into actually our center console storage space. So if I open up our center console storage area over here, which is wrapped in leather, nice and soft to touch, you're going to reveal even more space in here, which is just truly insane. So we have two USB-C ports back here that are 100-watt USB-C ports, which is pretty crazy. And this one has some charging adapters here taking up the space. But otherwise, huge amount of center console storage. And I can show you here how this tray table kind of works. You can kind of pull it all the way back here, or you can have it pushed up just like this, which is really nice. So you have this really cool dynamic space that you can kind of always customize in the Lucid Gravity. This comes and closes up really nicely as well. Also in this interior, we're getting a lot of great features. So I actually wish they did a camera as a mirror in this particular one, especially as the rear view isn't particularly great to see out of. We have an interior camera actually, which I have not figured out how to use just yet. And I love this Alcantara wrapped or microsuede wrapped center spine over here with the ambient light strip in it that divides these two sections up here. You can just see the glass just keeps going on and on and on, which is really crazy. And we have these floating little sun visors over here with this little magnetic strip over here that will open and close by magnets, which is nice for our mirror. This actually does fold all the way back, almost all the way back there. Well, actually this car does, at least this particular one, comes with a sunshade. You do have to install it. It is a little clunky, but if you do want a sunshade, you can technically get one in your Lucid Gravity if the roof is a little bit too hot for you at all occasions. But otherwise, the design and the ergonomics of this interior are just really amazing, really impressive. And otherwise, I think it's time for me to shut up and for us to go take this Lucid Gravity out on a drive. Really sharp and precise steering feel in the Gravity, like really sharp and precise. This car is incredibly rigid, stiff. And one thing I love about Lucids with their super high voltage architecture is even low in the battery pack range, we still have really great power performance. It doesn't limit power, which is great here. Let's go around this bend. Handling is really impressive, even on these winter tires, which is really nice to see. Check out this acceleration right here in now Swift mode. Oh, yeah, that's nuts. That's not even sprint mode, which unlocks the full power output of Gravity. This car has an insane amount of performance. Now, this is the Grand Touring model, of course. There is a Touring model with a little bit less performance, but this really pushes you into your seat. And thankfully, these seats have great bolstering in them because you are going to need it. Let me tell you that. Coming to a stop's really smooth with the Gravity. Again, we have a few different stages of regenerative braking in this vehicle, which is really nice. And we have these blind spot cameras here, which are super crystal clear. And over this really broken, pothole-filled roads we have in New York, this triple chamber air suspension does a great job at rounding out all the bumps. It's definitely a firmer ride than I was expecting. So if you were expecting, a more luxurious, almost like Cadillac floating kind of experience, it's not what the Gravity is. It's definitely more of a handling, focused, enjoyable driving experience versus, super all out in luxury, but it delivers on the luxury. It's very quiet in here. Even with all this glass around us, it's all acoustically laminated. A lot of sound deadenings going on in here, but the Lucid still lets in some nice natural motor sound, which I think is really cool from these electric motors. It has a cool, almost Formula E kind of experience to it. And steering performance in this thing is just nuts. This car turns like a sports car, and these are really bad roads actually up here. You can see how aggressively the car is taking them, but it all feels pretty rounded out to us sitting in the cabin here, which I think is really nice. Otherwise, it's just a very smooth, it's very spaceship-like driving experience. And you feel connected as a driver in the car. It's not something, a disconnected EV feel. You feel like you are driving it, and it almost feels like you want to keep pushing in this car. The car is asking for more, which is not something I could say about a lot of electric vehicles other than the Lucid Air. So I'm really glad they were able to kind of translate that experience into Gravity here, and they did a great job at it. Now we are in Swift mode right now. We could also go right back over into our smooth mode here, which definitely rounds out the throttle tuning just a little bit. But as a driver, I feel like I have so much control over the vehicle, especially with the rear wheel steering. You do notice it working with the vehicle just subtly in the background to kind of steer you into corners. It does actually work quite well. I don't know, this might be one of the best driving SUVs I've experienced this year so far. And we're on winter tires. I actually would like to try this car out on a more aggressive, either all season or, oh wow, that power is crazy, or a summer performance tire even. I think this car has the chops for it. It's really, really impressive in the handling department here. We'll pop it into sprint mode here just for a second. Everything starts off nice and calm and smooth. The second you step on it though in Swift mode or in sprint mode, it really does unlock a beast of amount of power. That's when you get that full power output of the Gravity, and it really does launch you back into your seat. And like I mentioned, there is a launch mode available on the Gravity. Just kind of floor your foot and brake and the accelerator pedal together there, and you kind of just rocket off into the distance. But yeah, it's a really nice experience in this Lucid Gravity this week. There's been a few little glitches here and there. The software, I think, has been overall really well rounded out. Really sharp handling dynamics in the Gravity. You feel the rear wheel steering kicking in there. Yeah, this thing's really impressive in the handling department, that is for sure. And getting up to speed will never be a problem in the Gravity as well, especially in this Grand Touring specification. It's just loaded with power. Really impressive stuff there. Now, you're hearing some tire noise. Like I mentioned, this vehicle does have winter tires on them, so you got a lot of tread. Otherwise, it is really quiet in here, actually. The only thing you can hear right now is that tire noise, unfortunately. But this gives us a good opportunity to test out our Dream Drive system here. Now, this is the most expensive Dream Drive system you can option on the Lucid Gravity. And largely, it's almost future-proofing the vehicle. It has a full sensor suite of like over 30 sensors around the vehicle, radars, short-range sonar, all that stuff is available here. And that is really meant for future over-the-air updates that are going to allow things like full hands-free driving. Right now, we do have a pretty advanced radar adaptive cruise control system, so I can press my little button on the left-hand side over here. Pops into life, and that's about it. That's all you really have to do. It's really just a simple process there. Very easy speed adjustments, so you can go up and down by 1 increments of speed, hold for 5 increments there. It reads the lanes really well, but you have to remember, it's still a hands-on system right now. It's not hands-off. That's coming in a future update. But Lucid did enable, we have lane change assist here, so I can initiate a lane change. You do have to have your hands on the wheel to initiate said lane change, but it does do that, which is really nice. And other than that, that's really about it with this system. I have noticed some really cool things about it though. So if it sees a vehicle, for example, merging into your lane from the left with their blinker on, it will actually alert you that the Gravity is making space actively for that car. So it's very aware of its surroundings, which I think is a really great thing to see. Other than that, I really am highly anticipating a lot of the more upgraded features that you're paying for the Dream Drive Pro system that are not here just yet. And we also have a pretty good voice assistant as well. It's really cool actually. You could just say, "Hey Lucid, turn on my heated seat."
Turning on the seat heater for all the seats.
Hey Lucid, what's the weather outside?
The weather is 39 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy in Harrison.
And I like these little cards that pops up here for you. This actually can do quite a few other things as well, and I think you get to learn it as well, and kind of gets to learn you over time. Definitely feels like an improvement over what we saw in the Lucid Air though. And again, all of these features I really hope and I've heard are going to be making their way over to Air in a major software update, I believe, later this year. So definitely stay tuned for that. Otherwise though, this is a really great car. It has a lot of good bones for it to be even more successful down the road. Of course, this one's really expensive. it's a Grand Touring top trim model, but of course you can go down to a Touring, and I have a feeling there will be a entry-level, maybe pure model down the road as well, and maybe something even above this Grand Touring. So there's definitely going to be a larger lineup, and as of this filming, Lucid just revealed their new mid-size platforms coming, I believe, either later 2026, early 2027 in the $50,000 range. So they're going to have a lot of options for a lot of buyers now. But if you're looking for a vehicle that can literally do it all, gets incredible range, is comfortable, is quiet, is overall a really great general experience, this Gravity is something that I think you really need to look at. Yes, there's a little quirks and bugs and things they're still working out on these early vehicles, but they've fixed so much stuff so quickly already. I have really high hopes that I think this is going to be a really strong vehicle throughout the year of 2026 and into the future. As always, guys, thank you for joining us on yet another full tour and review over at Allcarnews, and stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.